Hey, all right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Makar Kodash. I want to say give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. And salutations to the elect, Lord willing, with some of those men and women who fear and believe in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Hey, I'm my brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another lesson. And this lesson was inspired by the ending, some ending words from the Apostle Tahar on his show he just premiered. It's entitled More Proof Isaiah 4 and 1 will take place on this side. And so I looked up the marriageable age of ancient Israel, like how old Israelite females is what I asked. Or you could type in Israelite girls, how old were they married off in the chat GPT, and they gave some interesting information. And so I wanted to kind of expound on that because a lot of people get offended when they hear the apostles, the bishop elders, and us brothers on down when we speak about how old a woman is going to be when she gets married, all right? And that's pretty young. It's typically young. When I say young, it's like 12 and 13, between 12 and 15 years old, when a woman reaches past the flower of her age, right? That's when she's married, and we're gonna go back to that in the new world, in the kingdom of heaven. And a lot of people get offended because they're thinking about it with a Western mindset, right? You're thinking about, pedophilia, pederasty, and that's not what this is. All right, this is biblical, and we're going back to the old ways, right? The scripture says this, Salakia. This is the book of Jeremiah 6 and 16. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, stand ye in the ways and see and ask the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said we will not walk therein, right? In the NLT it says that this is what Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai says. It says, stop at the crossroads to look around, ask for the old godly way and walk in it. Travel its paths and you will find rest for your souls. But you reply, no, that is not the road we want. And a lot of they get upset when we start talking about the old paths and the old ways. They say they don't want that way. You prefer the new way, the Western way, right? Because it's appealing and it's alluring. And Apostle Tahar said something great in this video, so I want to let him speak, but I kind of just wanted to expound on the fact that, we're not going to be in a world where you got to wait till this woman reaches her personal maturity and she decides what she wants. That's not going to be the case, man. So real quick, let me play this and then I'll bring the information on ChatGPT.
We're going to get what we want to get. These second class wives, if you please. But so in the kingdom, we're gonna get what we want to get, and we're gonna get them young and tender, PYT, pretty young things. When they fully developed, that could be 12, 13 years old. We ain't gonna get no old woman hags that 43-year-old divorcees that go to the gym and keep herself together. We want to get something that hasn't been touched.
And that's a woman as a virgin, right? And you're gonna get her at her peak virginhood, meaning when she's past puberty, meaning when she gets her period, she's able to have children now. And I use a great example of that, and I might find it again. And they kind of they use it when you bring it out, they'll give you a copyright. But a great example of that, just look up Rudy from the Cosby Show, period, right, on YouTube, and her mother actually sits down and talks to her, and tell her that, hey, look, you're a woman now, and Rudy didn't want to be a woman; she wanted to stay a kid, right, because it was enjoyable for her. But then she past her puberty, meaning she had a period. I think she had a period at school, and she was embarrassed. But her mother told her there was nothing to be embarrassed of. It's what all women go through that, right? And she's a woman. And whether she likes it or not, she can bear children. And that's when we're going to get our women. Our women going to be at a prime age to bear children. And people look at it like, oh, you guys are nasty. You guys are pedophiles. You want young women. No, what's wrong? What's wrong with women when they're fresh out the pack? Why the fuck do I want an old hag, like the apostle said? She's 40 years old, divorcee, all kinds of men done had her. Now she's in a gym trying to keep it tight, trying to get in it, trying to reel in a sucker. You ain't gonna wait till no woman is 40 years old to marry them. And marriage is what? Sex. Marriage is not a certificate between you and the state and your woman. Absolutely not. Right? And in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shah, marriage is a serious thing. When a man takes a woman to be a wife, that's extremely serious, man. She no longer belongs to her father's house. She belongs to that man's house. And like the apostle said, in the kingdom, we're going to get them young, man. And you see a woman that's between 12 and 15 years old, she's going to be what? Fully developed, right? Let me play this again.
When they be second class wives, if you please. But so in the kingdom, we're gonna get what we want to get, and we're gonna get them young and tender. You know, PYT, pretty young things. When they fully develop, that could be 12, 13 years old. We ain't gonna get no old woman hags that 43-year-old divorcees that go to the gym and keep herself together. We want to get something that hasn't been touched, and we're gonna get that in the kingdom.
And that's right. It's going to be like that in the kingdom. It absolutely is going to be like that. And on top of that, our women, they're going to be fully matured at those age ranges, between 12 and 15. That includes 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Yes. Right? And it's not going to be frowned upon like in this world. Not saying that's something we checking for on this side, no. But in the kingdom, things are going to be extremely different. And fully developed is going to be fully developed at around about those ages. That's how it always been. Right? And so with that, let me bring out this information I found on ChatGPT. So I typed in on ChatGPT a couple of things. The first thing I typed in was, what age were Israelite females married to men in ancient Israel? Right? And it says this. It says in ancient Israel, Israelite girls were typically married at a young age, often in their early mid-teens. Right? This was in line with broader ancient Near Eastern customs. And we're going back to those customs where girls were usually married soon after puberty, around 12 to 14 years old. So what the Apostle Tahar was saying was right. People think that the apostles are saying this because they're old, creepy men. Yeah, in this world, you see people in the Western world, in the Western mindset, people associate an older man with a younger woman as creepy, perverse, right? But that's because Esau's turned things upside down, right? Let me get that real quick. Isaiah, excuse me, 29 and 16, right? Isaiah 29 and 16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? And that's what Esau has done with this Western mindset. You got to wait till a woman has ran a cop carousel, or in their words, had fun at her prime age in life. Because while people in this world assume that an older man with a younger man is perverse, these young girls between 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, they're having sex and they're having children. They're bearing children. Why? Because she's hit puberty. And now she starts to see men as something attractive. She's burning in her loins, and then the young man or older men, because normally these girls, they be like between 12, 13, 14, 15. They're dealing with men 5 years, sometimes 10 years older than them. And I've seen videos where girls speak about how they were 15, 13 years old, because they look grown. They look grown at those ages back then. And what they're searching out older men. So it's a natural affection. But in this world, it has been turned into something sick and evil and twisted, because you have sick, evil, twisted people of the other nations, even of Israel, out there abusing women, especially at their young ages, when they're more what's the word I want to use, when they're more influenceable, where you can influence them. And that's where you want a woman. You want her when you can influence her righteously, though, right? Where you teach her how to take care of your home, when you teach her how to take care of you and your needs, right? Where you give her instruction, because she in the ancient Israel, women between the ages of 12 and 14, they should have been well instructed how to take care of a house by that point, from their mothers and their instructors, whether that have been an aunt, a grandma, whether that have been a maid, a handmaid, a servant. They should know how to take care of both a house and a husband. But in this world, they teach a woman that, oh no, you could just, have fun, right? Basically burn yourself out at your most highest point of acquisition of a husband, where that is between your ages of your early puberty onsetting and beyond, right? They teach you to wait till the girl to hit 20, but by the time she hit 20, 21, she's not a virgin no more. She done already experienced sex, and probably with a lesser man, all because she was burning in the flesh. So she wanted to subside those hormonal needs. But that's what's happening is there's a hormonal change in a woman once she becomes once she passes puberty, the flower of her age. Let me get that real quick. Right? So don't be offended in the Eastern customs. Don't be offended in the Eastern mindset, because again, things are going to look way different in the kingdom. Right? Men don't even look like men at our ages look in the ancient East, because we're broken down, we're weak, right? But in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to be the apex. Well, here, right there, 1 Corinthians 7:36. But if any man think, let me go to this. It says, but if any man think that he behaving himself uncommonly towards his virgin, because that's what we're going to get women when they're virgins. And she ain't going to be no virgin sit on the shelf at 17, 20, 30 years old, a 30-year-old virgin, a 40-year-old virgin. That's not going to happen. But if any man think that he behaving himself uncommonly toward his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age and need so require, let him do what he will. He sinneth not. Let them marry. So it says right here, but if a man thinks that he's treating his fiancée improperly and will inevitably give into his passion, which is what? To have sex with her, let him marry her as he wishes. It is not a sin. And marry means have sex with her. But it says if she passed the flower of her age. So let me see what that says in the Greek. Flower of her age, right? Because she's a virgin. That word virgin there is parthenos, and it's a virgin, a marriageable maiden, a woman who has never had sexual intercourse with a man. And that's a woman who has just passed her flower of her age, her puberty. A woman who has never had sexual intercourse with a man. One's marriageable daughter. A man who has right? One who has never had sexual intercourse with a woman. Nope, it's a woman. Right? Let me go back to, so I hit virgin. Let's go to flower of her age. Hyperikamas.
Strong's G 5230. Uperikmas.
Right, beyond the
Uperikmas.
Salakia. It says beyond the bloom or prime of her life. overripe, plump, ripe, so greater of a virgin. So, what is a woman's prime age? A woman's prime age is between 12, 15, you can even say 14. That's her prime. We're going to get a woman when she's prime to have children, to be a wife. She's going to be malleable, right? And we ain't going to have to influence her on some creepy shit. That's a Western mindset. You see a man, a scraggly old dirty man, looking at a woman that's young, and he just lusting because he just wants to abuse her. That's not going to be in the way of the kingdom of heaven. Are you sick? Absolutely not. She's going to be a princess, bro. She's going to be held with the highest upward regard, bro. But we going to get them young. And ain't nothing wrong with that. And that's going to happen in the kingdom. I say again, that's going to happen in the kingdom. Why? Because it happened in the ancient world, right? So let me go back to ChatGPT. It says, in the ancient Israelite girls were typically married at a young age, often in their early mid-teens. This was in line with broader Near Eastern customs, where girls were usually married soon after puberty, around 12 to 14 years old. Marriages are often arranged by females. I'm sorry, let me read this again. Marriages were often arranged by families, right? Because that's what it was. The father had the say-so in who his daughter would marry and when she would marry. Marriages were often arranged by families with a focus on economic, social, and religious consideration, because that's what it was. It was always a contract between a father and another father, one family and another family. Right? It says marriages were often arranged by families with a focus on economic, social, and religious considerations rather than romantic love, because Esau has taught a woman to marry a man when she thinks she's in love. And that could be any damn day on a Sunday. Because these women, their minds change ever so quickly. Right? And we're going to get the best of the kingdom of heaven. We're going to get the best of the worst. We're going to get some used up Sally. That's not going to happen. Like in this world, you got to settle for what you can get. And it's usually a woman who's not a virgin, who knows nothing about a marriage, right? Who's been used and abused by all kinds of men, probably from men in her own family. Now she's hypersex, right? And she's just looking for a man she can suck the life out of, right? That's what you got to settle for down here, right? You get a woman, she's a used car, right? She'll spruce herself up, put that new car smell on her, and make her think that she's new, but she's not. She's used. She got hundreds of thousands of miles on her. No, in the kingdom of heaven, our women going to have zero mileage, man. Zero mileage, off the factory floor. You know what I'm saying? When nobody touched her, it ain't even been moved. We put in the showroom, right? So don't get offended in our customs, man. Don't get offended. Don't get offended by marriageable age. It is what it is. Right? It is what it is. So it says right here, marriages were often arranged by families with a focus on economic, social, and religious considerations rather than romantic love. The legal and religious framework as seen in the Hebrew Bible and often ancient texts emphasize a woman's transition from her father's house to her husband's. So that's what the transition was in the ancient world. You weren't marrying and dating, and you had let 15 years pass. Y'all still dating. You got 4 or 5 kids, right? And you wonder why the shit don't work out. No, it was a smooth transition from her what? Father's house to her husband's house, because a woman is under constant wardship. Even in the kingdom of heaven, women are going to be under constant wardship. They're going to go from their father's house to their husband's house. That's it. They're not going to go from their father's house to Jeremy's house, to Jerry's house, to Tom, Dick, and Harry, and then get to you. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? It says in the Hebrew Bible and other ancient texts emphasized a woman's transition from her father's house to her husband's. Betrothals could be arranged even earlier through the marriage, though the marriage itself typically took place after puberty. Why? Because you wasn't getting no 9-year-old girl, 5-year-old girl. She might have been betrothed, meaning her father promised her to another man's house when she what? After she reaches her puberty. Right? And then she got to go. Right? So then it says, would you like details and biblical references? And I said, yes. Several biblical and historical sources shed light on the marriage age of Israelite females in ancient Israel. While the Hebrew Bible does not specify an exact age for marriage, contextual clues and comparisons with surrounding cultures provide insight. Biblical reference: marriage and puberty. The Bible emphasized that a girl was considered marriageable once she reached physical maturity. Example: Ezekiel 16 and 7 and 8. Let's go to that. Ezekiel 16, 7 and 8. Ezekiel 16, 7 and 8. Alright? And it says, I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxen great, and thou art plumb to excellent ornaments. Thy breasts are fashioned, and thine hair is grown, whereas thou was naked and bare. Now, when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy times was the time of love, and I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. I swear unto thee and enter into a covenant with thee, saith the Lord Yahweh, and thou as becamest mine. Right? And this is the Lord speaking about Israel too, because we are as a woman unto the Most High, right? But the Lord got us when we were young, when we was formed as a nation. Let me go back to this. It says Deuteronomy 22, 13 and 21. I'm sorry, Ezekiel 16, 7 and 8. This is what ChatGPT says. Metaphorically describes Israel as a young girl. You see? And that, I told you, just us as a nation, who grows up, develops breasts, and reaches the age for love, marriage, implying that puberty marked eligibility for marriage. Deuteronomy 22, 13, 21 discusses a woman's virginity upon marriage, reinforcing the expectation that brides were young and had not yet been with a man. And that's how it's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. Our brides are going to be young, and she's never going to be had been with a man. And that's when she passes her puberty. Right? And it ain't going to be like 20 years after puberty passed. No, because by then she would have had been with a man. And in the case of American women, she has been with many men. Right? And she's not good for a true marriage with a man of substance, a man of the Lord. She's not going to be useful to that. But in this world, they teach you, wait till Brenda hit. She done had her fun. She done ran a cop carousel 20 times over. Now she's ready to settle down with a man and bear children. You got women that's 20 and 30 talking about something. I don't got no kids. But she's had sex with men. She probably killed children in her womb. We ain't going to have to worry about that in the kingdom of heaven. Right? That's why the apostles always teach us, you got to get out of that Western mindset. Because this Western mindset is very detrimental to an Eastern mindset. It's in conflict. Right? They push these ideologies on men and women in this society to corrupt them. Western mindset corrupts people. You see? And then you got people on the East, like them Arabs, they go above and beyond, trying to be over righteous. Those East Indians in Afghanistan, they're being over righteous. They marry a girl off because of poverty. So a man gives his daughter up at the age of 9 years old. She ain't even ready to have sex and be with the man. All because the family's destitute in need of money. So they get them well before they're ripe. We're going to get a woman at her right age. And that is passed after her puberty. Like the apostle said. Let me play it again.
12, 13 years old. Please. Man, we're going to get the women of these other nations too. They're going to be wives, but they're going to be second class wives if you please. But so in the kingdom, we're going to get what we want to get. And we're going to get them young and tender.
Yeah. We're going to get what we want to get. Right? Instead of having to settle for what's given to us. Everything we got is fucking used. Your house is a used house. Somebody had already lived in it. Then they got spirits and all kinds of shit on it. It's all fucked up. Right? You paying exorbitant amount of money for some shit somebody already lived in. It just got what they call it? Renovated. It just got renovated. They gut the house out and put a bunch of fake shit in there and make it look like it's brand new. But it ain't brand new. That foundation is old as fuck. The house been standing since the 1920s. And it's ready to fall in. And Ben had 2 or 3 roofs remodeled, if that. You get a car, right? Oh, it's like new. What the fuck is like new? Ain't no such thing as like new. It's either new or old. That's it. Oh, but it's like new. It's been refurbished, right? It's been cleaned out. And really it hasn't. It just gives you aesthetics. It's been cleaned. They spray that new car smell in there. And they put fucking oil on all the leather, right? They clean the dirt out, the roaches out, if that. Right? They shine the wheels up and then they put it on a lot and make you think that it's new. That's what you do. That's what they do with these women. These women get breast implants to try to look youthful, ass lifts to try to look useful, right? Face lifts, injections and shit, trying to look youthful, right? To get the last vestiges of a man's wealth. Absolutely fucking not. We ain't gonna have that in our kingdom. We're gonna get what we want. We're gonna get what we want. And what we want is something new. And we're gonna have it new. From our wives, these are Israelite women of marriageable age, and our concubines. These are women of the other nations of marriageable age. They're gonna be lesser wives. They ain't gonna have, your concubine ain't gonna be a woman of another nation that's been with another man. Nope, she's gonna be a virgin too. But she ain't gonna be on the level of an Israelite woman.
You know, PYT. But so in the kingdom, we're gonna get what we want to get. And we're gonna get them young and tender. You know, PYT. Pretty young things. When they fully developed. That could be 12, 13 years old. We ain't gonna get no old woman hags that 43-year-old divorcees that go to the gym and keep herself together. We want to get something that hasn't been touched. And we're gonna get that in the kingdom.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even ancient ways show. Again, Deuteronomy 22, 13, 21 discusses 13 through 21 discusses a woman's virginity upon marriage, reinforcing the expectation that the brides were young and had not yet been with a man. Arranged marriages and betrothal. Fathers played a key role in arranging marriages for their daughters, and that's something that's been taken out in the Western society. The father don't play no role in who his daughter should marry. Right? He got to let her go out into the world and she bring back what she gets. She's just rolling the dice. And the father got to accept that shit. And most men don't want that. Most men will prefer to choose an honorable man for their daughter. A man of substance. Not just money and wealth, but mental substance. Knowledge and understanding. Right? A man who fears Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? Because I know that man's going to do right by my daughter. And she's going to do right by him. But in this world, you don't have that option. Men don't have the authority to do nothing, especially the Israelite man, you so-called black, Latino, Native American, West Indian, Haitian men. We ain't got no power in this world to do shit. We just here. Right? Fathers played a key role in arranging marriages for their daughters. Exodus 22, 16 and 17. Let's go to it. Exodus 22, 16 and 17. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. In the NLT it says, if a man seduces a virgin who is not engaged to anyone and has sex with her, he must pay the customary bride price and marry her. If her father utterly refuses to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. But if her father refuses to let him marry her, the man must still pay an amount equal to the bride price of the virgin. And guess what? And she gonna be his wife. That's the law, right? Because a man might find a woman who's past the flowers of her age, and he deal with her, he take her, but the father didn't get a chance to vet him. He don't know this guy from Adam, right? But because that man has taken that woman's virginity, that young girl's virginity, that Israelite girl's virginity, which really she's a woman when she becomes past the flower of her age, according to our customs, right? He still got to let her go, but the guy got to pay that money. I believe it's like 50 shekels of silver, and that's a lot of money back then, just like it is today, right? So we're going back to our customs, okay? And don't be offended in that. Genesis 24 describes, matter of fact, Exodus, it says, fathers played a key role in arranged marriages for their daughters. Exodus 22, 16 and 17 states that if a man seduces an unbetrothed virgin, he must marry her or pay the bride price if the father refuses. This suggests that betrothal often occurred early, like before full maturity. And by the time a woman reaches her puberty in the kingdom of heaven, she's going to be fully matured. Between 12, 14, 15 years old. Fully matured. She's ready to go. Right? Genesis 24 describes the betrothal of Rebekah to Isaac, where she was likely a young girl, though her exact age is debated. Later Jewish traditions, the Mishnah states that a father could betroth his daughter as a minor, but she typically married after reaching puberty. The Talmud Sanhedrin suggests that the ideal marriage age for a girl was around 12 and 13, aligning with puberty. Historical context. Ancient Near Eastern customs, neighboring cultures like the Babylonians and Assyrians also arranged for girls shortly after puberty, typically between 12 and 15. It aligns up with the Apostle Torah was saying. Economics and social factors. Girls were often married young to secure alliances, maintain family honor, and ensure that they bore children early in life, because it is best for a woman to bear children early in life, man. After she has hit her puberty, it is best because the baby's going to be stronger, the mother's going to be growing with the child, she's going to be youthful, she's going to be mature. It's supposed to be that way, man. Not this way. Not this way, man. The way this Western way is sick and sadistic and twisted and evil. Molesting girls, abusing them, and then treating them like trash. You know, having children with women and just abandoning these women. And a woman, she's just a fucking office mattress. She let anybody lays on her. It's fucked up, man. It's messed up, bro. This Western mindset is fucked up. So in conclusion, most scholars agree that Israelite girls were typically married between 12 and 14. Exactly what the Apostle Torah said. 14 years old, with betrothal occurring even earlier, meaning a promise of marriage. You don't get the girl until she passes puberty, but she could be promised to you when she's younger by the father. However, some cases might have varied based on social class, personal circumstances, or change over time. And that's it, man. So, yeah, man. A quick 30-second excerpt, we were able to edify and go into deeper detail. And this is how you edify. This is edification, Lord willing, right? So with that, I hope you're edified with that. We say shalom. On to the next.